What Canon lens can I buy for under 50? Today, we're going to be finding out. So what I'm going to do today is bring you to my screen and quickly show you a few options. So today, it's going to be gear, and the gear is price related. We have different budgets, and I know it can be hard to find something, especially if you're not sure what to get. So luckily, from my years of experience of loads of different cameras, I'm going to give you some ideas of what lens you should consider buying. So if I share a few ideas, we can take it from there. We have eBay up today. eBay is going to be our friend. 50 is not a lot of money. Think of it like £50, $50, depending on your currency, because I know people from all over the UK and US watch videos, and even Philippines. I've had people watching, so thank you to all my Philippine friends. What we'll do is we're going to give you a quick overview, and I'm going to kind of let you know what I would buy in this scenario. So if you're not familiar with this series, I've done a whole series about buying cameras from 100 all the way to 900. So we looked at loads of different examples and people enjoyed that. So I'm going to stick to that idea and actually give you lenses as well. So with the lenses, we're going to have to show you something that you're going to enjoy, something that would be fitting. So right now we're looking at Canon as the main camera body, which means the lenses will also need to be of Canon origin in this example because they're 50. We'll show you different brand ones which are cheaper, but for under 50 you're going to be limited in the types of lenses you can buy. First of all, I did a quick search for second-hand lenses to see what comes up, because you'll know that different types of lenses can be different prices. But let's concentrate on this. So there's a few here, 18 to 55, which is a focal length. So if you're new to photography, those numbers basically mean what your wide angle will be. When I say wide, how much of the picture you'll see from where you stand and how much you can zoom in and get into your subject. I might do a separate explanation video about that to let you know more about that if that's something you find interesting. So here you can see there's a number of them at £50, which is kind of on budget. It's a good option because it has image stabilization. So all these numbers along here are interesting. So it's a EF-S lens, which basically means it's designed for the crop sensor body cameras. So if you looked at the cameras I offered in my budget of like between 100 and 400, you'll see that they were all crop sensor cameras for Canon anyway. And these crop sensors can't be used on full frame bodies. So that basically means if you buy this lens and you buy a new body later on, which is a full frame, this lens won't fit on it. So it's cheap enough, so it's fine. However, if you buy a EF lens, so not EF-S, just the EF in Canon, that's backwards compatible. So you can actually fit that lens even on an older body. That's worth thinking about, because sometimes they will be more expensive, but yeah, you're paying for what you're getting, aren't you? So you can actually have it for longer. You'll notice the lenses I've got up here. If I quickly show you those red boxes, you can just about see behind. There's 3 boxes there which are 70 to 200, which is an EF lens. There's a 24 to 70, which is an EF, and right at the top is a 50mm EF. So that shows you I've had them for years and I used them on different bodies. Okay, so price wise, your first option is 18 to 55, £50, bang on. There's 2 options in that lens. You get a newer version and an older version, and there's the numbers here let you know that. So in the numbers of the name, you'll see 18 to 55, which is the focal length. Then you'll see a F and it says 3.5-5.6. That's how much the aperture opens. So that's relating to how dark and light the image will be depending on different situations, how much of it will be in focus. So for example, in this camera here, you'll see a lot more things are sharp, whereas in that camera up there, which I can show you individually, I have background blur. So I have background blur on my camera, which I'm recording this on because I have a low aperture. The lower the aperture, the more blur you got in the background because the focus is on the person in front. So if you're listening on the podcast, is basically my Canon 50mm 1.4 that I'm recording on, and then I have an additional angle which I'm using, and you can see behind me the photography live show on my display, how sharp that is. That's because that camera is a higher F number, basically. So that's like a layman's kind of explanation, whereas here you can see it's nice and blurry. That's a nice example. Also the Zulf Talks sign. So anyway, back to this challenge. £50 is going to be a nice amount. I'm going to give you bits of nuggets of information throughout this as well to help you learn. So if you're just buying a present for somebody, you might not need to know all this, but it's okay. You can buy them a second-hand lens. They'll be happy with you. If I got a lens, I'll be happy if it's second-hand or new. So keep them happy. Additional options here are going up in price range. However, I think the main option for under 50 is going to be along the lines of an older lens. What I have done is I've searched a few other options for you. So let me give you some additional options. 28 to 80. So you'll notice the numbers there are slightly different. It's an EF lens. It's not an EF-S. It's from outside of the UK, so there'll be a bit of a higher percent cost to post it. That's all right. I don't mind paying a bit more money. As long as overall it'll be cheap. So 18 to 55, another one here. Just keep an eye on the notes on them, because they will let you know if there's any issues with the focus or the lens itself. There's a 35 to 80 Mark III, which is a 4 to 5.6, and it's an EF lens. So what you will notice is a lot of these older lenses may have been off film cameras. So in the past, Canon have made a number of film cameras which are not digital, so those took actual photo exposing film, and that's why you'll see loads come up on eBay for cheap. So that would be another option for you at £37.99. So that's the Canon EF 35 to 80. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, I might give you some additional notes in the description just to help you get these lenses if you're thinking about buying them, because I know on the podcast people have enjoyed this series of videos where we're looking at different budgets. So let me just get a quick notepad up, and then I can get this information down for you guys to help you. There you go. Okay, so that was the second option, and the first option was an EF-S Canon lens. And let's just get that down. Beautiful. Okay, so that's two options for you right there straight away. Now let's get a bit more technical with these. What about different types of lenses? So we have a focusing lens, which is an autofocus lens, which means when you click the button it automatically focuses. There are additional options out there. You can get a prime lens, which is basically a fixed length. So whatever you look at through the lens, it's going to stay the same. There's not two numbers in that. They may be slightly higher budget, because they might have to go into our next budget, which is going to be the next video at £100 or 100 currency. But here you can see a few more options. Let me just bring some of these to your attention so we know what is available. Okay, this one looks slightly different. So again, this is an interesting one, because that looks not something I'm familiar with. Let me have a look at this one. So this is the interesting one. What? This must be from a different country. Possibly. Is it an EF mount? Okay, Canon EF 35 to 80 millimeter. But it looks like yeah, a very interesting look on that. First time I've seen that actually. It's Norfolk, so okay, it's in the UK. Interesting. I'll put that link or name in my list. So that's three options that I've looked at there for under 50 currency. So I'm hoping you found this one useful. What I'm going to do is, if you have a little bit more money, it's going to be worth you looking at something else. So I'm going to link you to this playlist. Put a £50 more in, you've got 100 quid, $100, whatever it is. You're going to find this lens amazing. So I'll link you to this one. Check that one out, because you'll see the difference in price jump straight away.